So there's a couple random things I want to talk about. So we'll just do housekeeping, okay? It'll be kind of open forum. One thing is Father's Day. Hey, happy Father's Day, all the fathers out there. For me personally, and in the land of living, there's no higher calling, there's no higher title that can be achieved, there's no higher form of honor and burden of command that can come other than the title Father. And when you think about it, to be a dad, to be a father, to be an Abba father, it's the weightiest thing you could ever do. And I hate how often men spend their lives trying to gain some other sort of title, or some other sort of validation, or some letters behind their name, or some letters in front of my name. I remember that was my only pursuit as a young man, was the qualifier of Walden, whether it's a Sergeant Walden or Special Agent Walden, or whatever the title was, Officer Walden, that it was something about that prefix or suffix that I thought had value. But then you come to realize the only thing that has value is being a dad. And actually, that's the only thing you're going to be held accountable to. It's not your performance in the workplace. It's of some value. It's not your achievements. It's not your ability to be a provider, which is what everybody's reduced manhood to, is being a provider. That is the worst indicator of manhood, is your financial security or the home with the addition on it that you have. Nice try. It's not going to hold up. But to be a dad is something so radically powerful. The burden of command that comes with it. And obviously the best way that we can be good dads is the way we love our wives. And so the way we love our wives is the testimony to our children of what it looks like to be a father. And it's interesting that that's exactly what the Lord's modeled. And that's why it is patriarchal. There's weight to it, right? And the God the Father, Abba Father, the Lord the Father, and then to his church, the bride, to Israel the bride, to the church, his body, right? He's always modeling what does it look like to be a good father. And he does it by the way he loves his wife, right? His betrothed. And then the whole world gets blessed by it. So anyways, happy Father's Day in that regard. We need to take it with the weight that it has. Secondarily, just so you guys know, because by the way, we talk about this regularly. Side note, I do not see myself as a shepherd. Does everybody understand that about me? I may shepherd. I may do that. I like to counsel. I like to draw people up in the truth. I like to tear down, identity issues and restore them. So there's a degree of shepherding. But even Brady and Alicia and I were talking about this earlier in the week, is that I see myself more as a sheepdog than I am a shepherd. So it's just the way God's created me. I'm more of a sheepdog. I'm a warrior through and through. I can't shake it. I've tried. It doesn't go away. And my sheepdogginess is to guard the flock, protect the flock, and more than anything, what I'll protect more than the flock is I'll protect God's glory, even over the flock. As a sheepdog, I'll fight for the presence of the Lord. I'll fight for the peace of the Lord. It says seek peace and work to maintain it, or contend for it, right? I'll fight for freedom for other peoples. Other peoples, plural. That was cool. But I'm a freedom fighter, right? So I don't see myself so much as a shepherd, but as a sheepdog. So I give you that context why I'm willing to share with you guys things that I'm privy to, or even guys that I talk to. As we're worshiping, I'm getting even updates constantly. I have to throw my phone away sometimes because it's so constant. But I want you guys to be aware that there are major movements in the geopolitical and the geostrategic sphere right now. There are major troop movements inside the United States of America. There's major troop movements in Canada. The United States mainstream media has been given gag orders. If even one media personality mentions the reality of the mobilization inside the U.S., it's radically significant prison time, DOD complications for that. I always tell you guys this from personal experience. I do not care when I see tanks on the streets. Tanks don't bother me on the streets. Infantry fighting vehicles don't bother me on the streets. APCs, armored personnel carriers, don't bother me on the streets. Infantry guys with guns don't bother me on the streets. What I've always said, the number one indicator when things are like, oh crud, we're past the point of no return, is when I see logistics convoys. I've always said that. All those tanks, all the troops, they mean nothing. They can just be a little show, a little optic that they put out there. But when I see water trucks, comm trucks, aerial denial system trucks, when I see the backup generators, when I see the mechanic convoys and convoys of mechanics trucks or tank recovery vehicles, when I see trucks with bridges on them and boats on them, you would not believe what the military is capable of. When I see those rolling out, I go, they're getting ready for something. And just in the last 3 days, you're talking hundreds of aircraft in the sky at one time over the U.S. military aircraft. You're talking about huge logistics movement, logistics supply chains everywhere, gag orders being given to the media, nukes being moved into Belarus, nukes being moved along the U.S. border. There's 16 Russian submarine boomers off the east and west coast of the U.S. right now, and it's all been agreed upon that this is what's going to go down. So, just to keep you guys apprised of what's going on, we are not those who fear bad news. We're those who trust in the Lord. Our hearts are steadfast, trusting in the Lord. We have no fear. When you begin to see all these things taking place, you stand up and look up because your redemption draws nigh. And you need to know and understand that this is what we're going to be talking about today, is that though weariness besets you with these things, you count it all pure joy. It is wearying. It's wearying to watch what this month celebrates. It's wearying to try to go to downtown Memphis and I want to vomit. I've literally thought about having like a little pump sprayer, for killing bugs, with like my little gasoline diesel mix and hitting all the rainbow flags and all the little rainbow windsocks and then just lighting those mothers on fire all at one time. It's so disgusting to me. It's so reprobate. I am weary from the lawlessness. I'm weary from your guys' sins. I'm weary from the broken identities. I'm weary from the fractured homes. I'm weary from the double-mindedness. We're all weary. I'm weary from the Russians and Chinese. I'm weary from the sold-out government when so many men have spilt their blood to give America the space for grace that it's had for the last 235 years. It is wearying. And that's what we're going to talk about today. A deep matter of the heart. The deep matter of the heart. I'll title the sermon Battle-Weary. I don't know what else to call it. Because I want to make a distinction by the time we get through the end of the sermon, the difference between being worldly weary, which is what most of us operate in. We operate within the confines of our emotion, within the confines of our thoughts. And so we are worldly weary, but we don't yet understand what it means to actually be battle weary. And battle weariness from worldly weariness are two completely, radically divergent matters of the heart. Okay, I'll break into it. There's perhaps one singular unifying factor in which all of humanity at all times on the face of the earth and throughout all of history continually maintains this shared empathy. One singular thing that unifies all of you. Unifies you with everybody else on the face of the earth. Humanity has a singular unifying factor, and that is within the realm of weariness. There is not one person that I've ever talked to, that I've ever communicated with. I thought it was a Bubba Gump hat, bro. It just stole my attention. I'm like, is that a Forrest Gump hat? That'd be legit. Yes. So is this weariness. Everybody communicates the same thing. You can talk to the cashier at Walmart, and they will express to you their weariness. You can talk to anybody, and you see the exacerbation. You see the grind. You see the hopes deferred, which make the heart sick. You see the longings of their hearts being unfulfilled. You see the grind of life upon them everywhere you go. And people are just weary to the bone. And it actually is the unifying factor of all of humanity, whether we have understood it or not. From the garden, from the fall, to the second he says, it is done. I'm the Alpha and the Omega, no more. Everything in between those bookends of time is the human experience of weariness. Okay? From cradle to grave, a sense of overwhelming weariness plagues our hearts and our minds and our bodies. Think on it. An exacerbated child, poor little Brooks. Dude's weary. He's like, I want to eat now. Homie, hook me up, right? So it starts when they're so little, you see it. You see it on their body. You see the need for sleep. You see the need for rest. You see the desperation. You see the depression. You see the grind on everybody, right? A teenager seeking to balance the expectations of being a young adult while still being a child. Ethan, where are you at, Ethan? You understand? You've spoken to that, right? I don't know. What am I? Am I a man? Am I a child? Am I a man? Am I a child? Like, I'm weary because I have these expectations, yet I'm held accountable this way one day, but I'm held accountable this one day, the next day, I have no clue what to do, right? So you see, like, this human condition is constant. Young men and young women pursuing aspirations for the future of their lives only to experience their hopes deferred, and then their hopes deferred again, and then their hopes deferred again. But I thought life would look like this, right? Newlywed couples, welcome to weariness. First decade, congratulations. Stay the course. A young mother or a single mother tasked with the responsibilities that they could have never conceived of. They have no idea because the older women aren't rightly investing in the younger women. They're leaving them to figure it out on their own, and they are overwhelmed all day, every day. All these young moms, all these young women. I saw it with Virginia. See it with these young moms. Like, they're just weary. They don't know. They don't know what the expectations are. Nobody's told. And nobody told them that it was going to be this hard. And so they're weary, right? Young men grinding through the requirements of life with no end in sight. There's just no end. You just get up and you do it again. You just get up and you do it again. And then you get up and you do it again. It's like there's no end in sight. What's the point, right? Middle-aged men and women watching as their adult children struggle through disappointments, faltering marriages, raising young children of their own. Then as a young adult, your children are out of the house, and now you're still weary because you're watching them have to do the same thing. And you're weary in spirit and heart, right? Retirees looking back and wondering, what was it all for? I gave up everything. I destroyed a marriage or two or three. Or my current marriage, there's no intimacy. We just cohabitate. And my kids, and I missed it all. I missed all the opportunities, all the camping trips, all the one-on-one, all the investment, because I thought I was doing what was required of me. And they look back as a retiree and they go, what was it all for? What a waste. And they're looking forward at their future and they go, and what's that all for either now? And they're just weary, right? Hopelessness besets them. And then the elderly, trying to navigate the failings of their bodies, the frustrations of a mind that is strong, but a body that will never respond to what their mind is wanting them to do, unto greater and greater weariness and discouragement. It's the human experience, right? This is the human experience. But most of all, center stage, when I think of the top tier of weariness that I see expressed in the land of living, that I see expressed in the human experience, is this sojourning Christian seeking to pilgrimage, to sojourn from the city of destruction unto the celestial city. If anybody knows that language, John Bunyan, Pilgrim's Progress, right? This is where the highest form of true battle weariness besets a person, is in the Christian calling and election as they sojourn towards that celestial city. John Bunyan wrote Pilgrim's Progress in 1678, and then there was a follow-on on in like 1684 or something like that. And if you guys haven't read it for a while, or you haven't grazed over it for a while, you want a battle plan to endure the land of the living, to endure this hostile territory, and to stay the course for the cause of Christ Jesus, as weary as you may be. Reread Pilgrim's Progress. It's profound how he illustrates it. And if you're unfamiliar with it, in Pilgrim's Progress, the character, the protagonist, his name is Christian, naturally, right? And so all throughout the language of it, it's the personification of different people. So he's encountering all these different people on this journey where he's got this weight on his back, and he's trying to navigate from the city of destruction that he was born and raised in, and he's trying to get to the celestial city. And all along the path, he encounters person after person after person after person. And throughout the book, it's a personification of different attributes that you all experience in your life. Right? He endures, he has to wade through the slough of despondency, and then he has a burden, which is the gospel that's put on his back that's hard, and he has to climb up this hill of difficulty. Then he has to endure the likes of worldly wisdom. These are all people that are personified in the book. He has to encounter worldly wisdom, which is a religious spirit of guy being like, you're a fool, you should do this, right? Then he has to encounter a guy named Simple, then a guy named Sloth, then a guy named Presumption, then he runs into a guy named Danger, then he runs into a guy named Destruction, then he runs into these guys called hypocrisy, which are false brothers, which are trying to speak into him, yet they're totally false brothers all the time, only to have to overcome mistrust and timorous, two other personalities he has to encounter, because now by this point he's so battle-weary that now here comes a guy named Mistrust. Here comes a guy named Timorous. He's faint of heart. And they try to detract him from his journey, detract him from his expedition, from his mission set to the celestial city, right? He overcomes Mistrust and Timorous only to escape Apollyon and the valley of humiliation, then to enter into the dark canyons of the valley of the shadow of death, only to then be required to endure the fleeting enticements of Vanity Fair. Then, only ever once more, you think you'd be weary yet? Does this sound like your guys' life? It is. This is every Christian's calling of sojourning. Then he's disenchanted once again by false brothers and by malicious detractors, only to seek a shortcut from the relief from his woes. He's like, I'm so weary, I'm so weary, I'm so weary. And I know the path to the celestial city is on that really rocky sand road, but there's this nice road over here through this green pasture. And I'm so weary, maybe I just take this little road just for a little bit of refreshment, right? Only to be snatched up by the giant whose name is Despair and taken to the doubting castle, the castle of doubt, right? And however, in this pursuit, in this sojourn, in this expeditionary nature, which for me being expeditionary is a big deal because as Marines we are called an expeditionary force. Like we're hardcore like door kickers, like take a beachhead, right? And then push on, like we're expeditionary. So I get the language that's contained with all this stuff. But it's amid this sojourning, this battle-weary sojourning, that right smack in the middle of all of it, that Christian, as weary as he was, steps inside the palace beautiful along the way. At the appointed time, the Lord says, stop, go to the palace beautiful, and there I'll meet you. It doesn't take away all the stuff that's going on here. It doesn't take away all the stuff that you're going to have to endure. It doesn't take away all the personalities of life, all the temptations of life, all the failings of life. But right smack in the middle of all of his battle weariness, he goes, come here to the palace beautiful. Come here and I'll meet with you. Within the chaos and the licentiousness of Vanity Fair, guess who he meets there? Two homies that walk with him all the way to the end. Two bros. Right smack in the middle of it. Faith and hope. And though faith ends up being martyred right in the town square for proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ, hope stays with him hand in hand through the journey all the way to the gates of the celestial city. Right? It's only after escaping the brutality of the giant Despair that they are shown the joy that awaits them from the lofty heights of the Delectable Mountains. He's like going through all this, and his buddies go, come up here, climb up here. See, your perspective's off. You were just in the valley of shadow of death. You just escaped the giant Despair. Come here, let me show you from the mountaintops of the Delectable Mountains. Look it, it's right there. Keep going. Keep going. Do not give up. Faith and hope resolve to strengthen and refresh his eyes. Faith and hope resolve to adjust his armor. Side note, again, I'm always going to give you real-world military axiom. When you go on a hump, which is our hikes in the military, and your armor or your gear or your plate carrier or your pack or your whatever is loose or sloppy or not squared away, it will drive you into the ground. One pack strap being 2 inches longer than the other is going to so destroy your body. You have so much weight on you all the time. One piece of gear being out of whack, one boot being tighter than the other boot, your chin strap being adjusted one way or the other way. You will feel every piece of the grind and it will destroy you. And every once in a while, you need to stop and your brothers actually adjust your gear for you because they see you struggling. And they'll be like, stop. Here, shoot. And you're like, dude. Oh my goodness, no wonder why I was hurting. I thought my lower back was going to shatter, you know. And so, anyways, side note. The Christian calling and election to press on and invigorate more towards that celestial city is the true and better posture of the redeemed that is to burst forth. And here's what it is. Weary, yet pursuing. Everybody hear me? Weary, yet pursuing. I don't care about your weariness. I care about the intentionality that you're still pursuing right smack in the middle of it. This is what it looks like to be battle weary. This is what it looks like to be an authentic warrior of the Most High. Judges 8:4. And Gideon came to the river Jordan and crossed it, he and his 300 men who were with him, weary yet pursuing. Weary yet pursuing. You guys all know the story of Gideon, right? You know the story of Gideon's 300. You know the story of routing the enemies at the time. And they fought and fought and fought and fought. Again, like I was saying earlier about being a sheepdog for the glory of God, for the presence of God, for the glory of Israel. And though it says at other times about other warriors in scriptures that their hand was locked to the hilt of their sword. It was locked from fighting so hard. And though they have nothing left, and no matter how battle weary they are, they keep on fighting. Because it's about a bigger purpose that's far beyond anything they could ever comprehend. Weary yet pursuing. The plight of the weary is illustrated all throughout scriptures. Everybody aware of that? Have you ever read the Psalms? Hello? You want to talk about a melancholy, depressed, emo dude, King David. But it was justified, right? Like, he's just pouring out his heart on paper. He didn't know anybody was going to read these things. He didn't know that these were going to be compiled to show the heart of God and how that God meets you right smack in the Mount of Weariness. He was just journaling. How difficult is that? He was trying to write in songs to express what's going on, and he speaks over and over and over again. Oh my soul, it's so weary. Oh my God, it's so weary. Oh my God, I'm so exhausted. And then he always turns and goes, but you'll meet me in this place, right? Ecclesiastes 2:17 through 23 says, this is Solomon. Who's Solomon? King David's son. Wisest man to ever live, right? And he goes through how battle weary is. Ecclesiastical verse after ecclesiastical verse. I so hated life because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. All of it is meaningless, chasing after the wind. I hated all the things I had toiled for under the sun because I must leave them to another one who comes after me. And yet they have no control over all the fruit of my toil, which I poured all my effort and skill under the sun. It's all meaningless. It's all meaningless. He says it over and over again. Ecclesiastes 4, he goes, again I looked and saw the oppression that was taking place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed. They have no comforter. Power was on the side of their oppressors. They have no comforter. And I declare that the dead who are already died are happier than the living who are still alive. Oh, so weary from watching the things of this world. So weary from watching all the people's hopes be destroyed and crushed. I'm weary from watching them fight the sin, fight the world, fight the whatever, fight for hope, fight for joy, fight in their marriages, fight with their kids, fight with their co-workers, fight with their extended family members. It's all weariness. Jamera? Yeah, Jamera. Yo, what up, Jamera? Jeremiah? That's awesome. Maybe he was like a Jamera, like, what's up, bro? Jeremiah, Lamentations, he says, so dumb. He says, my eyes fail from weeping. How's that for weariness? Where nothing else comes out anymore. No more water comes out of your eyes. You're tapped out. My eyes fail from weeping. I am in torment within. My heart is poured out on the ground because my people are destroyed, because children and infants faint in the streets. He goes on to say a little bit further on, I'm a man who has seen affliction by the rod of the Lord's wrath. He has driven me away. He's made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me again and again all day long. He's made my skin and my flesh grow old. He has broken my bones. He has besieged me and surrounded me with bitterness and hardship. He has made me dwell in darkness like those long dead. He has walled me in so I cannot escape. He has weighed me down with chains. Even when I call out or cry for help, he shuts out my prayer. He has barred my way with blocks of stones. He has made my paths crooked. He has pierced my heart with arrows from his quiver. I became the laughingstock of all my people. They mock me in song all day long. He has filled me with bitter herbs. He has given me gall to drink. He has broken my teeth with gravel. He has trampled me in the dust. I have been deprived of peace, and I've forgotten what prosperity is. Does that sound like someone who's battle weary? Who is Jeremiah? A prophet of the Most High God. called and anointed to do nothing but glorify the Lord. He was called into battle. And it was the nature of his battle that made him so weary. But we're going to finish that verse a little bit later on, because I stopped. I stopped at the transition word I'm big on, right? Elijah in 1 Kings 19, it says Elijah was afraid and he ran for his life. Right after, dude, have any of you guys ever called down fire from heaven? Anybody? It just like smelt like 450 prophets, like, boom, my God wins, your God loses, right? And then he says, and then he put all the other guys to death by the sword. So this dude was slaying. Anybody who doesn't understand the warrior priest, you haven't read the word. The Pollyanna Christianity is, I'm so over it. Read what the warrior priest of God, how they manifest as true and better sheepdogs for the glory of God at all costs. Anyways, so he just has this radical power of experience with the Lord. Does anybody remember what happens in 1 Kings 19? Elijah, what's he do? He runs away, he sits under a tree, and he's so overwhelmed with depression because of his weariness that he says, I'm going to sit here and die. I'm done. I'm done. Tapped out. Mega exaltation experience with the Lord. The next verse, he's like, I'm so tapped out, I'm just going to sit under here and die. We're going to get back to Elijah and how the Lord deals with weary hearts here in a minute too. Abraham weary, Sarah weary, Moses weary, Joshua weary, the kings, the judges, the apostles, the epistles all speak to weariness. The saints at the end of the age, the singular theme of you, all of the saints of the church, is that the Antichrist will make war against you and he will wear out the saints. Did you know that? He's going to wear you out. The whole premise, the whole culmination of the war against the Most High God, against humanity, is weariness. Weariness is center stage right up to the very end. All of creation is wearily groaning as it waits for the Lord. All the celestial host. How long, O Lord? How long? How long? How long? Weariness to the max, right? Oh, and by the way, you actually weary the Lord too. You weary the Lord. We try his presence. He's weary with the wicked all day long. He experiences weariness to a degree too. We weary him in our sinning, and he is greatly wearied by the religious spirited. Isaiah 1. Number one thing that wearies the Lord, read the word, religion. Religion is the number one thing that wearies the Lord as a religious spirited person. And if you don't remember, Jesus grew weary as well too. In his humanity, though he was God, veiled in flesh, he experienced everything that you do, but yet without sin. So that in him you have a true and better high priest of Melchizedek. And he experienced weariness beyond comprehension. Beyond comprehension, he experienced weariness, right? To be weary, the word weary is kopiao in the Greek. Whatever. Who cares? But it makes people feel like I'm super smart if I say it, right? Right? The word weary in Greek is kopiao, and guess what it means? It's the word used all throughout Scripture. It means to labor until worn out, depleted, and utterly exhausted. To labor until you're worn out, depleted, and utterly exhausted. This is the plight of humanity. But let me share with you the good news. Because I don't think we understand the matter of the heart about what weariness actually testifies to. Because Proverbs 25:25 says this, like cold water to the weary soul is good news from a distant land. I'm going to bring you guys some good news. You ready for it? You want some good news? I'm going to bring you some cold water from a distant land. Like from me to 8 feet away. Here. It's very far away right now. The call of Jesus onward is this, that perhaps your weariness was foreknown to do something in you. Your weariness is not in vain. You need only to have a heart transplant to rightly understand the nature of your calling and election in the land of living. You were called to sojourn. You were called to pilgrimage, to pursue the celestial city right smack amid all the weariness that this fallen world's going to throw in your face. You were called to it, Christian. You were called to take on the burden. It's easy and it's light, but it's a burden. and to navigate this hostile territory from the city of destruction from which you came all the way to that celestial city, no matter what is thrown at you. And along the way, hope and faith will meet you, and they will be your companions. And along the way, at the appointed time, you will go to the tops of the mountains to remember the celestial city and how close it is to you. And along the way, you will be taken into the palace beautiful at the appointed times, and there your soul will find rest for the battle that lies in front of you. Weary, yet pursuing. Weary, yet pursuing is the appropriate posture of the redeemed of the Lord. I think of sojourning all the time. I used to ask people when they're always all judgmental. People are so judgmental. Can I hate on Christians? No, I can't. But I want to, but I can't. No. It's like, I've never had more detestable people in my reality than brothers and sisters than believers. Never. I've never been wrongly admonished more. I've never seen more carnality. I've never seen anything come out more than brothers and sisters. And I remember the heaping upon heapings of rebukes and admonishment and carnality as the Lord called Virginia and I to actually walk by faith. You want to see a Christian get triggered? Walk by faith. Walk by faith and you will trigger every religious, spirited, fearful, self-absorbed, carnal Christian in your reality will get triggered by your faith walk. And they would always say, what are you guys doing now? Oh, the Holy Spirit told me. Oh, the Holy Spirit told me. How are you going to mislead your family now, Jamie? How are you going to make your wife feel insecure now, Jamie? I mean, I would literally get asked that. And I'd be like, dude, A off, I want to hurt you because I'm kind of predisposed that way and the Lord's got to wrestle that out of me. Right? But I was like, dude, I'm just sojourner. I'm just literally sojourning wherever the Lord leads me. Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went, even though he did not have a clue where he was going. And it was accredited to him as righteousness. Are we all aware of that? He obeyed and went, even though he didn't know where he was going. You think that's wearying? I don't know what I'm supposed to do today. I don't even know where I'm supposed to walk today. I don't know if I'm supposed to pack up the tent. I don't know if I'm supposed to leave the tent up. I don't know how much I bring with me. What do I do? How do I lead all these people that are grumbling the whole time? Abraham wasn't by himself. Everybody understand that? This dude was crazy wealthy. He had all kinds of people with him. And yet, the weariness of the day required of him to continue to pursue what the Lord had told him to do, no matter what. To sojourn means to dwell for a time, or to live in a place as a temporary resident or a stranger, an alien. We're aliens in a foreign land. Not considering the place as a permanent habitation. That's what it means to sojourn. I'm sojourning, man. I'm passing through. I'm going from the city of destruction that my God bought me from, and I'm getting to that celestial city. And I don't care what's thrown in my path. I have resolved, I've chosen to be resolute in my pursuit of the Lord, weary as I ever may be every day to pursue my God. Because though he was weary with my sin, he pursued me. Does everybody understand? To be on a pilgrimage means to be on a crusade, church. It means to be on a long expeditionary journey on a mission for a particular ends. It is wayfaring. It is traveling with intentionality. That is what we're supposed to be doing. Weary yet pursuing as we sojourn, as we pilgrim through this land, no matter what it throws at us. The despair, the despondency, the failings, the hypocrisy, the false brothers, the timorousness, the fearfulness, the doubtingness. Sometimes the enemy takes you right smack into the palace of doubt, the castle of doubt, as it says in Pilgrim's Progress. And you're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing it. Maybe I'm grieving the Lord. Maybe it's all a lie. Maybe this, you know what all these libtards say? Can I say that? Maybe what they say about this being a lie, maybe it's true. Maybe it's just a book written by men. Just a guideline. Just to help, maybe. Right? And we fight through it as we pursue this celestial city. So here's what we must do, beloved. We must mature in our understanding of weariness. Everybody agree? We have to mature in our understanding of weariness. What if weariness is actually supposed to drive you into the arms of the one who has stood the test of battle weariness and can now comfort you in fullness. What if your weariness was presupposed to do something in you, to drive you into the presence of the Lord? What if, by the way, top tier most perverted verse in all of Scripture? Can't say that. That was an overgeneralization. One of the top tier most perverted verses in all of Scripture by all the seeker-friendly Christians out there is, well, the Lord will never give you more than you can handle. Yeah, right! Are you kidding me? The Lord will never give you more than you can handle? That is so the wrong. The Lord will crush you. He will bring you beyond the point of your ability to handle any of it, where you're so weary, you're so despondent, you're so broken that you would what? Despair of life itself, and turn around and fix your eyes back on Him and be restored in an identity in Him. He will bring you so far beyond your ability to endure. 2 Corinthians 1, 8 through 10. We don't want you to be uninformed, bros. That just took off the THERS. Bros, brothers. Of the afflictions we experienced in Asia, for we were utterly burdened beyond our strength, that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt we had received the sentence of death, but that was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. He delivered us from such deadly peril. He will deliver us, and on Him we have set our hope that He will deliver us again. He has, He is, He will deliver us. He will give you way more than what you can handle, just so you know. But notice it's designed to do something. Intimacy with the Lord, there is no other way. There is no other shortcut, sojourners. There is no shortcut to intimacy with the Lord. What if your weariness was foreknown to draw you into the presence of the King who loves you, in which you will come to know His face? What if your weariness was designed to make you claw and kick and scream and run to and hide and indwell and abide and just be poured out for Him, to where you would actually learn the sound of His voice, to where you would know what it feels like when He touches your shoulder, because I felt it. A literal touch from heaven. That you would find a lasting peace. What if your weariness is because He's like, I'm going to strip you down. All the things that you think are going to give you peace are faulty. I will allow you to be so battle weary that you will come underneath me, who offers you a lasting peace. What if it's so that you can encounter a joy that actually satisfies? The money, the busyness, the life pursuits, the selfishness, the body stuff, the life stuff, that what is not going to satisfy? What if your weariness is designed to teach you what real joy is? See, we have to mature in our understanding of what it means to be battle weary. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary. When are you going to come to Him? When you're on cloud 9? When you're crushing it? Laodicea? When you're wealthy and in need of nothing? When are you going to come to Him? Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. See, there's an algorithm. Always. Come to me, all you who are weary, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and then you will find rest for your souls. What's the number one thing a weary person needs? Rest. Refreshment. Restoration. A reviving of the eyes. He says, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Did He say He removed the yoke? Did He remove the yoke from you? No, He replaced it. Did He remove burden from you? No, He gives you a burden, but it's easy and it's light. Christian, sojourning towards the celestial city with your pack on your back. Like any good warrior, you carry a pack with all your kit to endure the rigors of warfare. Is everybody tracking? Perhaps the degree of your weariness is directly representative of the degree of your unity with Christ. Have you ever thought about that? Why would you shrink away from being weary? Weariness is unto unity with Christ. Unity in suffering, unity in weariness means unity at arriving at the gates of the city, which will never be closed again. It says in the gates of that great city in Revelation 21, 22, they're open and they'll never be closed again. They're open day and night. Maybe your weariness is supposed to be doing something in you. Perhaps your weariness is testifying to something radically, heart-comfortingly profound. Your affirmation as sons and daughters. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about the grind that you're experiencing and your battle weariness is actually testifying and affirming that you're a son and daughter of the Most High, and you can actually take comfort and joy in your weariness? Hebrews 12:3-8. Consider him, Jesus, who endured from sinners. If you're enduring something, what does that presuppose? Weariness. If you're having to persevere, what do you think that presupposes? Perseverance, exhaustion, depletion, laboring, striving. Have you thought about that? To endure, you cannot experience endurance or the need for endurance or the need for perseverance or need for patience or any form of suffering apart from experiencing weariness. See, we just don't understand what it is, so we resent it. What if it's actually affirming your son and your daughtership in the Most High? Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. Why are you to think about the Lord? So you won't grow weary or faint-hearted. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. You ain't suffered that bad yet. Everybody tracking? Get off of yourselves. You haven't resisted sin in this world. You haven't resisted a sin in your life yet to the shedding of your blood. He did for you. He went all the way to the end to resist it. All the way to the end. And have you forgotten, beloved? Have you forgotten the exhortation that addresses you as sons? My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord only disciplines those who he loves and chastises every son who he receives. I don't discipline somebody else's kids. They're not my sons and daughters. I discipline mine because I love them. And though it makes them weary to be disciplined, though it makes them weary to be held accountable, though they get weary, Finley this week was crazy exacerbated by he's like, you're always on me, you're always on me. I'm like, son, I love you. I love you. If I didn't love you, I would have no regard for you. I wouldn't care. I would want to protect you from feeling weary. But because I love you, I'm affirming. And because you're even weary and because you're exacerbated by me being on you all the time, it's affirming how desperately I love you, son. I'm looking at your future wife. I'm looking at your future kids. I'm looking at your influence for the gospel. I'm looking at your ability to glorify the Lord. I'm looking at your standing before a holy God. And because I'm only thinking about your standing before a holy God and your ability to be influential for the kingdom of God, I am willing to allow you to experience weariness now for your good later. Everybody tracking? Maybe your weariness is supposed to drive you to hunger and thirst for the Word so that your soul might find rest. Psalm 119 says it over and over and over. I panted for your Word. I sought for your Word. I longed for your Word. I was so weary in this life that I kept running to the Word to find rest for my soul. When do most people turn towards the Lord? When they are depleted. When they are depleted. Then they turn to the Lord so that they can find rest for their soul and a reviving of their eyes. Right? What if your weariness was designed to do that? What if it was foreknown to get you to take your eyes off of yourself and put them back on the only one who's worthy of them? Maybe your weariness is so much more radically wonderful than what you've ever been told or understood. Weariness, listen to this. This is a true and trustworthy saying. Weariness does not signify that you are weak, inept, destitute, or forsaken. We got to change our perspective, church. Weariness testifies to your willingness to get in the fight and stay in the fight. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Weariness does not testify to weakness. Weariness testifies to your willingness to get in the fight and stay in the fight. Weary yet pursuing. This is every modern battlefield warrior. We all know it. You go without sleep. You suffer greatly. You go and 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 you have nothing left. Yet your brother picks you up one day and you pick up your brother the next day and you grab this guy's pack and you drive the next day. Then you take this piece of the 50 cal on the next hike and you keep going and everybody is equally weary. And the reason why you are so weary is not because you're weak. It's because you're a warrior. It's battle weariness. It's battle weariness. So you need to make the distinction between what is worldly weariness and what weariness you've taken on yourself because of your carnal pursuits, because of your double-mindedness, because of your need for validation, because of your insecurities, because of your money chasing, because of your selfishness. That's worldly weariness. But an authentic battle weariness, man, if you understood what it's doing in you, you'd be unstoppable, right? It is not about being worldly weary. It's about being battle weary. And that, beloved, is a life-transforming, eyesight-healing, heart-refreshing distinction to make. It is sojourning. It is pilgriming. It is crusading. It's expeditionary. It's filled with high honor, incomprehensible, reward-based lavishing. It's never disappointing. It's blessed, blessed, blessed burden. Easy and light and profound that has been granted to you, privileged to you to take on. It has been granted to you. Everybody tracking? What's it mean to be granted something? It's privileged. It has been privileged to you to actually suffer and to actually be weary in the middle of the fight. It's radically profound. You do not want to be the dude standing before a king, before your commander, before the captain of your salvation with gleaming armor on. You don't want to be that guy. I'll tell you from being in the Marine Corps. You do not want to be that guy with soft hands. Nobody likes to do with soft hands. It's just weird. It feels weird when you shake their hand, right? You don't want to be the guy with soft hands. You don't want to be the guy with pressed iron camis. You don't want to be the guy smelling like Ivory Fresh soap with your favorite coffee mug in your hand. Hey, what's up, sir? Right? That's Air Force style. Sorry, Air Force. Like, what's up, sir? Or like Jeff. Hey, what's up, Jeff? I'm like, did you just use his first name? No way. You guys use each other's first names? Sorry, side note. Your armor ought to be so haggard that you need to go to the True and Better supply chief to get new gear. You should have dirt under your fingernails. You should have bags under your eyes. You should have a weapon that is so dirty because it's been so used so often in the fight that it's in danger of malfunctioning because it has been so deployed. You should be so sleep deprived that you're slightly delusional. And your gear should be so torn up, your camis should be so salty that they can stand up on their own because it testifies that you have been in the fight. You don't want to be the soft hand dude before your king with a coffee mug in your hand. And yet, that is what the church has told you you should be. That's what they've told you you should be as sojourners. That you should be padded, pampered, pansy, weak, narcissistic, skinny jean, black rimmed glass wearing guys and women before the Lord. And it's just not true. It's not true. Weariness was foreknown to do something. Weary yet pursuing. Those were the 300 that were left after all the guys that wanted the easy road, that wanted the green pastures. That was all that was left. Because they were weary, but they were willing to pursue the glory of God. Right? Battle weariness is not weakness. It is unto the honor of your king. Battle weary against the anxieties and dissipations of this life, get in the fight. Battle weary from tearing down strongholds and false pretenses, suck it up, stay in the fight. Battle weary from raging war against your flesh that corrupts your enemies with the king, never give up. I don't care how weary you are in fighting your flesh, keep pursuing your king. Weary yet pursuing. Side note, so what if you have so structured your life to avoid experiencing any meaningful degree of weariness, of battle weariness? What if? What if? What if Christian in Pilgrim's Progress, the guy's name Christian Pilgrim's Progress, had stayed when he encountered the personification, his name was Little Faith. He encountered a dude, Little Faith, that almost derailed him. Okay, he wasn't willing to be weary. He'd counter the cost, it was too high. He wasn't willing to labor. He wasn't willing to be depleted. He wasn't willing to strive. He wasn't willing to go to exhaustion. He protected his sense of rest, apart from the Lord putting the parameters on his degree of rest. Far too many in the church are unwilling to be weary for the Lord's sake, and they're unwilling to be weary for the sake of others. They will always protect their time, their sense of restfulness. right? This is a great dishonor. This is actually antagonistic to what Christ modeled for us, and what the apostles modeled for us, and the posture to which we ought to be willing to enter into. Here's what's noteworthy. More often than not, I watch as Christians make the determination for themselves of when they need to rest. Everybody hear that? Most Christians determine for themselves when it's time to rest. They go, I've done this, or I've done that, pulling back. Sabbatical for the day. However they rationalize their mind, they're like, well, I did this, so now I'm owed this. It's a tit for tat. I worked one day. I worked 2 days. I've endured enough. I've dealt with that personality twice. Not going to. So they choose for themselves when it's time to rest. They choose for themselves when they're going to lay down in green pastures. They choose for themselves when they're going to go hang out beside still waters. They choose for themselves when they want to self-refresh their souls. And what you don't understand, and what the church doesn't understand, is the scriptures speak to the total opposite. Weary, yet pursuing, poured out like a drink offering, and at the appointed time, your good shepherd will make you lay down in green pastures. Has anybody picked up on that? He will make you stop. He will make you go into the palace beautiful. He will make you to refresh your soul. He will let you sit under the tree, Elijah, for a time. He'll feed you. He'll let you sleep a little bit. And he goes, you good to go? I didn't tell you to stop here. I'm tender for it. I didn't tell you, get up. You haven't finished the mission set, Elijah. I will make you lay down when it's time to lay down. I will refresh your soul. I will lead you to the still waters for my name's sake. Everybody remember Psalm 23? But see, the failings of the church is we have chosen to be so pleasure, comfort driven that we won't even allow ourselves to experience weariness. We determine the green pastures. We determine the still waters. We determine when our souls need to be refreshed. And that's why we look the way we do. We don't understand what it is to willingly choose to be battle weary for a king who is battle weary for your soul. Right? We move boundary stones. We move boundary stones. Study that in the scriptures. The Lord has a big issue with those who move boundary stones, right? Could you imagine if just 5 people or 5% of people in every single church willingly labored unto depletion for the gospel and for the body? 5. Just 5. Like, dude, you want to talk about a radiant church. Whatever, like, take more. That should be the thing. More. Dude, I'm worn out. You can take more. I'm worn out. You can take more. You can have more. You can have more of my time. You have more of my resources. You have more of my body. You have more of my thoughts. You can have more of my prayers. You can have more of my tears. You can have more of my indignations. You can have more. That's what it looks like to be weary. Poured out unto depletion, unto exhaustion. Because I know my King. And at the appointed time, He will restore my soul. And the true and better time is coming where I will rest forevermore. I will rest for, he says, well done, good and faithful servant. Enter in to my rest. To my rest, right? Okay. Here's some unique qualifiers about weariness in the Lord real quick. Because again, we got to mature in our understanding of weariness. Number 1, it's okay. It's okay to be weary. Does everybody understand that? Quit fighting the fact that you're worn out and that you're exhausted. It's okay. In fact, the Lord is tender towards you in it. Remember 1 Kings 19, Elijah? Verses 5 through 9, it says, he was under the tree going, I just want to die. He's so weary, like, I just want to die. That's a high form of depression. By the way, anybody here experienced depression? You all have. And what's the number one thing you usually want to do when you're under so much weariness that you're actually depressed? Isolate and sleep. You want to sleep and sleep and sleep, and you wake up and you don't even want to be awake. You want to go back to sleep because you're so weary it's like you're trying to reset your body. You don't even know why your body's doing it. You just want to pull in. You want to climb into a hole. You want to crawl into a cave and just sleep. That's what Elijah's doing under the tree. Did the Lord rebuke him? Did the Lord rebuke him? He tended to him in his weariness. He's like, I get it. Here, son. Here's a meal. He sent an angel to minister to him. Have a meal, go back to sleep. He woke up again under the tree. Angel showed up again. Here's another meal. I know you need more. Refresh. Go back to sleep. He goes back to sleep again. He wakes up again. The angel comes to him one more time. He's like, are you refreshed? I understand. It's okay. You're weary. I get it. I totally understand. But keep pursuing. Get up, Elijah. What are you doing here still? You haven't finished the mission yet. Right? Number 2. The Lord is tender towards your estate and will make you be restored. He knows when and where and to what extent to soothe your battle weariness. You don't have to demand it for yourself. You don't have to take it on for yourself. He knows when to make you lay down. He knows when to lead you beside still waters. He knows when to restore your soul. He knows when to pull out a chair at the table. It says you will recline at his table. Have you thought about that language? Luke 13. You're going to recline at God's table? You don't think he knows how to provide rest for you? So quit getting hung up on your weariness and quit demanding to refresh your own soul. Weary yet pursuing. Allow him to make the space. He's tender for it, right? Number 3, those who are wearying yet pursuing will not be disappointed. You're not going to be disappointed because you stayed in the fight. But those who balk, those who shrink back, those who are comfort-driven, those who are lovers of pleasure, those who refuse to be poured out for anybody, anywhere, anytime, those who demand their own refreshment, those who demand leisure upon leisure upon leisure upon leisure for themselves because they're tired because they worked for 3 hours. It's not going to play out. But those who are battle-weary yet pursuing will not be disappointed. Galatians 6. 7 through 9, do not be deceived. God is not going to be mocked. For whatever one sows, they will also reap. For one who sows to his own flesh, from the flesh will reap corruption. But the one who sows to the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. And therefore, let us not grow weary in doing good. For in due season we will reap if you don't give up. You don't get to reap if you give up. You will reap if you do not give up. So don't grow weary and do good. Number 4, your weariness can never, ever, ever go beyond God's refreshment. You cannot drink your cup down below the dregs to where you're beyond God's refreshment. He does not grow weary. He does not sleep or slumber. Though you're fragile clay jars, right? 2 Corinthians 4, 7 through 12. You're afflicted in every way, but you're not crushed. You're perplexed, but you're not... Perplexed, but not driven to despair. You're persecuted, but not forsaken. You're struck down, but you're not destroyed. You're always carrying in your body the death of Christ, so that the life of Jesus may also be manifest in your body. You cannot outdo God's refreshment. He says, coming back to Psalm 23, what's your cup do? Half full? Half empty? Is it half full or half empty? What's your cup? It's overflowing. You cannot outdo God's refreshment in your weariness. Get off of yourself. Labor unto depletion, under utter exhaustion. He will lead you beside still waters. He will restore your soul. He will make your cup overflow. You can't outdo it. It's okay to be weary. It's okay to even pursue more weariness. More, Lord. I'll give you more, God. I've counted the cost. I know what's coming for me, right? There's an appointed time for your refreshment. There's an appointed time for your weariness to be rinsed from your bones. There's an appointed time, beloved, when you will take off your armor from the battle and from the fight, and you will never feel its weight ever again. There's coming a time when you will take off your armor. And all the stains, and all its marred, and all of its blood splatter, and all the dirt, and all the grime, and all the carbon from firing your weapons, you'll take it off and you'll never have to put it on again. We have to understand this. The weary who press on, who labor and pursue unto depletion, will be so richly rewarded we can't even comprehend it. Psalm 16:11 says, in your presence, Lord, is the fullness of joy. What kind of joy? Like it's cool I get to go to the high country today, joy? Like it's cool I got a day off, joy? The fullness of joy. And in your right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Don't you know what's coming for you? Psalm 40:1-2 says this, comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem. Cry to her in her warfare, that her warfare is ended. Listen to the scripture. Tell them their warfare is going to end one day. It's okay to be battle weary now. I'm telling you, it's a rigged match. It's a rigged battle. It's like U.S. and China. It's rigged. We're going to be destroyed. It's rigged. The victory has already been achieved. He says, tell them, speak tenderly to Jerusalem in their weariness. Speak tenderly to the church in their wilderness, and cry to her that her warfare is ended, that her iniquity is going to be pardoned, and that she has received from the Lord a double portion. You will take off your kit. Verse 10-11, Isaiah 40 says this, behold, the Lord comes with might. His arm rules for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. He says, he will carry you in his bosom. He will gently lead your young. Going on in verse 27-31, it says, why do you say? So if all this is true, beloved, if all this is true, battle-weary warriors, why do you say, O Jacob? Why do you speak, O Israel? Why do you say, weary sojourners, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my right is disregarded by my God? Why do you say that? It's not true. Don't you know your God? Don't you understand what weariness is doing? Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is an everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not grow faint. He does not grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, to him, and he gives that has no might, and he increases their strength. Even youths will grow faint and weary. Even young men will fall and be exhausted. But they who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up on wings like an eagle. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and never grow faint. Don't you know? Haven't you heard? Don't you know who the God is? Why are you saying my way is hidden from the Lord? Don't you know? Why are your dejections and why your despondency? Remember the name that you have. Many who are weak are boldly given strength in the Lord. Many who are feeble in spirit and faint in heart are graced by God unto daring feats of valor. Many who are well acquainted with weariness and weakness are also well acquainted with power and might and the grace of God. Those who trust in self, no matter how resilient and young and youthful and hardcore they are, no matter how much they're vigorous, they will fall. But those who wait on the Lord, they will renew their strength. They will mount up on wings like an eagle. They will never grow weary. Don't we understand, church? Speak over the weariness in one another. Speak over the weariness in one another. Call each other up into the truth of your weariness and what it's doing. Be faith and be hope who comes alongside Christian as he's sojourning towards that celestial city. Come beside one another, tighten up the pack straps, adjust the armor, and keep pressing on, weary yet pursuing all the way to the end. Be friends with faith and hope. Seek that celestial city. Do not allow the suffocating nature of this life to drive you to despair. Weary yet pursuing. Don't you know what waits for you, sojourners? Don't you guys know what's waiting for you? I'll tell you in case you forgot. Revelation 21:3-4. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. It's the fullness of Emmanuel. The restoration of Emmanuel. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. And he will wipe away every tear from your eyes. And death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for all the former things have passed away. You can be weary, yet pursuing, if you understand what's coming for you. Let me finish Lamentations 3. Remember Jeremiah? He's like, dude, you put gravel in my mouth and you made me chew it. Right? He's so weary. He's at that point. He's like, I've forgotten what prosperity is. All that I hoped for from the Lord, all that I hoped for in this life, none of it came to fruition. None of it. It all failed. I'm so weary, God. I'm so battle weary. And then he goes on to say this after he lays out that whole litany of just how deep the despair goes. I well remember my afflictions and my wanderings, the bitterness and the gall. I will remember them. And my soul is downcast within me. It's pretty weary. Yet, I always say there's always a transition word. Yet, this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. I am pressed on every side, but I'm not going to be overcome by it. For his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. So I'll say to myself, Lord, the Lord is my portion, therefore I'll wait for him. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. To wait how? What's the posture in your waiting? Quietly, striving, holding your breath. I'm waiting for you though, God. That's not what it says. To wait quietly for the Lord. It is good for a man to bear the yoke while he is young. It's good for you too. Don't you understand? Be enumerated among the 300 warriors of Gideon, whose hearts were so fully committed to the Lord, because they were so intimately knew the Lord, that regardless of the depths of their weariness, they pressed on into the fight until they heard. They did not stop until they heard the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant, mission accomplished. Enter into the celestial city, where you'll find rest forevermore." They never stopped. And we must never stop until the Lord speaks that over us. With eyes fixed on the celestial city before you, and with hope and faith as your companions, press on in pursuit of the glory of your King toward that great reward kept for you heavenward. You may grow weary, but not grow weary in doing good. You may grow exceedingly weary in this life, but abide in the one who will never succumb to it. You may be weary now, but one day you will enter his rest. You may be weary, yet you must pursue still yet a little while longer. Jesus Christ, as weary as he was in his humanity, never stopped pursuing the Father's glory, and therefore he never stopped pursuing you. As weary as he was, he never stopped pursuing his Father's glory, and you're beneficiaries of that. With trembling hands and torn flesh, and with his last breath and weariness unto utter depletion of self, laboring for the gospel, laboring for the souls of men, he held out the cup of fellowship to you in his last breath, poured out weary to depletion. Cast your misplaced burdens upon the Lord, for he cares for you. Take upon you his burden, a burden that will not disappoint, and stay in the fight, church. Stay in the fight. You guys hear me say it all the time. It's an axiom all the time. I end most of my email responses with it because it's true. I don't say it as a little stupid Jamie quip. It's because it's true. I say, simplify, delight in the Lord, stay in the fight. That's what I say to almost everybody who I respond to in an email. Stay in the fight. Weary yet pursuing, because you will not be disappointed. That's a wrap. Elfine.